Three New York police detectives shot Sean Bell 50 times on the night of his bachelor party. He was unarmed. Him and his two friends were all both shot. One of his friends still has 4 bullets in him. Sean Bell died that night. I remember I was in New York when this happened, and everybody went ballistic, if you will. Pun definitely not intended. And everybody was outraged that the cops would shoot a guy that was unarmed 50 times and kill him right before his wedding. But this time we're going to get justice, right? I mean, I know before it was Giuliani time, and people get shot for reaching into their wallets or get the broomstick up there and all that stuff, but this time it was going to be different. And in fact, in the Associated Press story, one of the fathers brings his children to the court because he wants to see them that the system can show them that the system can work and there can be justice. And they're all waiting for the verdict, and the verdict is not guilty. They're all free to go. The cops are. The dad's like, oh, well, maybe next time. I mean, and he's like, look, think about it, man. That could be my son when he grows up. He's reaching for his wallet, or he's had his bachelor party, and, you know, somebody misinterprets what he's doing, and boom. Before anybody knows what's happening, no gunshots from him, no hostile action, 50 bullets, and he's dead. But I have a strange twist on this story. I know everybody's, you know, worked up over it, as well they should be, and it was outrageous. And I read you know what, before I get into my twist, I read into the story to see what happened. Of course, these things are always complicated. Cops don't come out of nowhere and be like, all right, let's mow these people down. Of course, they misinterpreted the situation to some degree. So once you get inside the courtroom, did they really mean to kill these people? They didn't, et cetera, and you get into those questions. But when you read the details of it, they're way too gun-happy. Okay, now the second guy that came in and fired 31 shots, 31 out of the 50 shots, he didn't know what was happening and who was firing. So he unloads, right, thinking that other cops are in trouble. If you say not guilty on him or the other guy who fired 4 shots, those 2 cops, it's an arguable case, man. If I'm in there, I'm willing to listen to that case, okay? But the first guy that goes in there and starts, the first cop that starts all this in the first place, sees that, oh, you know what they were going to investigate there? Prostitution. And they thought these guys were talking to some people who might be prostitutes. They were probably talking to strippers because it was their bachelor party, okay? And they're going to investigate prostitution. A cop pulls out his gun, and next thing you know, he's putting 11 rounds into a car with no guns in it. Now, you can't do that. That guy's got to get punished. There's got to be a message out there that you can't be trigger happy as a cop and put 11 rounds in a car when there was no threat at all when you were going to investigate frickin' prostitution. I mean, and by the way, I don't want people to get the wrong idea. These guys did not have any women in the car. There were no prostitutes, no nothing. They were totally innocent. Now, my twist on it is, I'm telling you that the clause in the Fifth Amendment against self-incrimination doesn't make any sense. Now, I'm not going to pull a Bush administration, and if I was president, just say, don't ignore it. No. But we got to get an amendment that fixes that, okay? And I know amendments are a really complicated process, and it's, priority number 158, if I'm lucky, on anybody's priority list. In fact, it's not on everybody's priority list. It's my pet peeve. But here's the cops. Now, normally, if people, liberals are on the side of the defendants, right? That's the stereotype. But I worked in a couple of prosecutors' offices when I was in law school. Why? Because we've got to get justice for people, whether it's white-collar crime or whether it's criminal crime, whether it's civil case or not. That's the whole point of government, is justice, right? So this cop, he's the defendant in this case, and he's sitting there and he doesn't testify. They didn't ask for a jury trial. They had the judge do it because they thought that their passions would be inflared because you shot somebody that was an unarmed and innocent civilian. Anyway, they had the judge do it, and the judge gets his Fifth Amendment right. He's just sitting there. Don't you want to ask him, hey, why did you start shooting into the car? You've got to tell me, oh, he testified during the grand jury, and the judge looked at the grand jury proceedings. Hell no, man. Understand what happens. In a grand jury, there is no opposing counsel. So the cop gets to say his side of the story, unchallenged, and then they bring that to court, and they submit it to the judge, and the judge looks at it, goes, oh, okay, that's the cop's side of the story. Now, I'm not going to let the defense counsel cross-examine it. But that's not right, and he's sitting right there. Ask him, why did you fire into the car? I don't want you to torture him. I don't want you to ask him in a dungeon. I don't want you to ask him in a prison. I don't want the cops to ask him. If he says, look, I want a lawyer, give him a lawyer. But once you get inside the court system, there is no dungeons and torture chambers and stuff like that. A judge or a jury's got to be able to ask the defendant, why did you do it? Not taking the stand, I don't think it's acceptable, man. What it does is it perverts justice, and in this case, it completely did us a great injustice.